Hey, what's up, everyone? Tedrick85 here, and today I'm going to be talking about Episode 1 of Book 4 of The Legend of Korra, titled After All These Years. And as I expected, this episode did not disappoint whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I thought it was very good. And like I said in my preview video, this takes place 3 years after the events of Book 3. And we get to see Asami in that after she renovated Republic City in that. And speaking of which, Republic City Park has been announced that it was renamed Avatar Korra Park. Even though Korra's been missing for the past, well, I can't say missing. She's been out of Republic City for 3 years. She's expected to come back in that, and they show Asami and Mako and that talking about how good it is to see each other again, and especially Asami, she just can't wait to see Korra again, and she was asking about Bolin as well, and Mako said he'd be coming too, so, and Asami made a note of saying it would be nice to have everybody from the whole Team Avatar come back and meet each other once again, so, a funny part about this episode is that we get to see Prince Wu, who's next in line to the Earth Kingdom throne after the Earth Queen's assassination, and let's just say he's not exactly an ideal prince. He is kind of goofy, somewhat of a geek, he's a bit conceited in that, and certainly seems to like Asami because he hit on her quite a bit, and much as he tried to go all schmoozy with her, she didn't reciprocate any of it whatsoever. So, but speaking of the Earth Kingdom and that, since it was put in ruins by Zahir and that after the Earth Queen's assassination, Kuvira, oh, I'm sorry, it's not Kuvira, it's the Great Uniter, has been tasked to bring together the whole Earth Kingdom. But by doing so, she's bringing a whole new stamp on the Earth Kingdom, a new sense of order, and needless to say, not many people are happy about it because what she's pretty much doing is, while her intentions may be good because the Earth Kingdom is overrun by bandits since there was no one to rule the Earth Kingdom for the longest time, she pretty much rules things with an iron fist, and the way she wants to instill order throughout the Earth Kingdom is pretty much take them over and that and put her armies in each of the cities that she visits, and she wants to put her own stamp on it. She wants her own authority in that. So, which has me thinking, as sick and twisted as what Zahir was in that, he was trying to teach the world a lesson in that is that you cannot have too much control, and that you gotta let people free sometimes in that. But needless to say, what Zahir did was wrong in that. But at the same time, though, in terms of good guys and heroes in that, and people who were active in the conflict in that, you have to learn from your adversaries and say, look, this is what they stood for, this is what they fought for. Well, you know what, maybe we can learn a little something from that conflict and that. But apparently Kura wasn't one of these people that learned from that experience, and she's pretty much representing what Zahir tried to fight against to begin with. Even if Zahir was a little bit cuckoo doing so, which I know I sounded redundant there, but while the Kuvira is trying to reunite the Earth Kingdom in their own unique way, we get to see Kai and Opal, who have become quite the skilled airbenders, and from what we see here, at least in this first episode, the airbenders are kind of like the police force throughout Earth Kingdom. They kind of remind me a little bit of the Jedi in the prequel trilogy. You know how they were supposed to be the peacekeepers in that? Well, that's kind of like the role that Kai and Opal have taken on, and you see them taking care of a few bandits themselves in that, and we get to find out two things about Kai and Opal, though, besides how good of earthbenders they are. One is that we learn that Kai and Denora are in a relationship, as Opal asked Kai about. And another thing is we know that Opal and Bolin are in a relationship in it. And speaking of relationships, Kuvira happens to be engaged to Opal's brother, Batar Jr., and As far as he goes, he's pretty much estranged from the Beifong family because of his engagement to Kubera, and that's something the Beifongs, especially Sue, was against. So, and Opal pretty much lets him know this. She was very angry at not only him but Kubera, and that she does not like Kubera whatsoever. So, but yeah, you can definitely tell there's at least a little bit of character development, which is what was funny. I said that because I mentioned this in my preview video, but we're starting to see character development already, and this is just the first episode. Imagine what's going to go on in the final 12. So, but yeah, there was a pretty cool sequence where Kavira was battling a whole bunch of bandits. She got a whole bunch of metal strips and bound their eyes and hands and that together, so she was able to capture them and that. But yeah, she's one tough cookie, and I gotta be honest, I'm not sure if I like her as a character yet. I'm not sure if she's gonna have that same sympathy that Zahir had, or if she has the same dynamics as say like Long Feng or Ozai has had. I hope she doesn't end up being one of these flat villains like Amon and Unilock and that. But we got 12 episodes to see, so who knows? Maybe we'll know a little something about Kavir and that makes her at least a little bit more tolerable. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm really crazy over her character yet. And but yeah, towards the end of the episode, we saw her taking over another city, which is Yai, much against the governor's wishes, because he was pretty defiant against her. But here what ended up happening was Kai and Opal were trying to get rid of these bandits and that, and here they ended up taking all the their cargo and that from Oogie, or whatever the Sky Bison is. I don't think it's Oogie, but it's another Sky Bison. And I think the governor's his hands were pretty much tied at this point. So he relinquished. Well, he's still the governor of Yai, but total control of the city is now belongs to Kavira and that. So needless to say, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens there because as you can see, it's like I said earlier, Kavira is the type of person that Zahir was trying to rid the world of, and and it's sad because you really don't want to see a villain's point being proven correct, but so far, in terms of Kavira, Zahir is right about this. So, but like I said before, what he did was wrong, and I don't condone him, especially killing. That I could not stand him killing people, especially like the Earth Queen and that. I thought that was totally uncalled for. Hopefully, Kuvira doesn't get that insane yet, but who knows in that. But I have faith that the things are gonna work, and it's certainly not. I don't think it's gonna be a bad point, but it's just something that I'm not really too particularly crazy about. But yeah, it's here I'm talking in this video, and then you're probably wondering, hey Teddy, you haven't said anything about Korra yet. Well, that's an interesting point because for the most part, Korra isn't even seen in this episode, except for the last few minutes, which I'll get to here in just a second. But early in this video, and that I talked about how Team Avatar, which is Asami, Mako, and Berlin, were excited to see Korra, and she was expected to arrive in Republic City later on that day, which a Southern Water Tribe did pull up to the shores of Republic City and that, and Tenzin was ready to greet Korra and that, but the only person that came out was Tonrock, which of course is Korra's dad, and then Tenzin was inquiring about Korra and that, and then Tonrock says, well, he's the only one there, that Korra is not with him, much to everybody's surprise. And all that Tonrock was able to say was that Korra left him a note and she disappeared for about 6 months. So he figured she was already at Republic City, which Tenzin told him that she was most definitely not in Republic City, which speaking of Korra, we do only get to see her for one scene, and I think this scene speaks volumes, because here we automatically see Korra with the shorter hair and that, and she's wearing Earth Kingdom clothing, and from what we see in the final scene of this episode, she's participating in almost like an Earth Rumble event, which brings back memories of Book 2 from Avatar: The Last Airbender and that, which, here, she ends up fighting against this Earthbender, which she ends up getting clobbered by her and that, but, here the guy ended up paying her for fighting and that, and, the guy looked at Korra and, which I should say, Korra, people don't know that she's Korra. She's going under another alias. And the guy that was giving her the money for fighting, he's like, you know what, you look familiar. And he's like, I'm pretty sure I've seen you before. And he's like, you kind of look like that Avatar girl. And he's like, whatever happened to her? And then Korra just kind of brushed off and like, I have no idea what happened to her. I haven't heard from her, but yeah, we get to see Korra getting a little bit of a new lease on life, you know. She's kind of taking a break from being an Avatar, even though she knows she's still the Avatar, but I just think she needs some time to reflect, especially about what happened to her 3 years ago with her battle with Zahir and being poisoned and having to confront her and the demons and that, and but yeah, but the main reason why I got so excited about her participating in this, to me it looks like an Earth Rumble event because it had the insignia on the arena she was fighting, and this has me really excited because guess who else participated in a bunch of the Earth Rumble competitions? That's right, Toph Beifong. And I know I mentioned in the last video that it would be cool to see Toph once again, and we see it in the last few seconds of the trailer net, and this really has me excited because I think if they are going to introduce Toph into the Legend of Korra timeline, it is going to be pretty soon because, as you can see, Korra's not as good of an Earthbender as, like, some of the other Earthbenders, so she's probably going to need some guidance there, and who better to teach Korra better Earthbending than Toph, so I'm really excited to see if she's going to be coming up here in these next couple episodes and that, and I really do like Korra's hair too, which I know I said that in a preview and that, but it's weird because you see Korra with the short hair, and you see Asami with her hair pulled back, and Mako with his hair slicked back, and Bolin with his more mature face. It just seems kind of natural, you know. It isn't that much of a shock, you know. They've certainly kept a sense of familiarity about them, which I love in that. So, needless to say, I'm already used to seeing this new and older Team Avatar in that. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it what I want to talk about in this episode, and needless to say, I'm looking forward to the next one, and I hope the other Korra fans are too, because I thought this was an awesome episode, so, thank you for watching, or listening I should say, and I guess I'll see you again next time.